I am John Elliott Churchville, and the topic of this video Wednesday is 3 more of your hidden powers. This is the 5th and final in a series of Wednesday videos that will provide you with some insight into yourself. My goal is to help you shut out the noise of mass media and go into the secret closet of yourself to think positively and meditate lovingly into yourself. If this series of video Wednesdays has just scratched the surface of getting at what I sincerely desired for you, I will have succeeded in my mission to be of some service to you. In this video, I will cover 3 more of your hidden powers: your power of subjective mind, your power of choice, and your power of thought. Your mind has 3 components: your conscious objective mind, your unconscious subjective mind, and your superconscious spiritual mind. Your conscious objective mind has some awareness of what's presented to it by your physical senses of sight, hearing, taste, touch, and smell. It has the power to receive or reject what is attempted to be placed into it. Your objective mind is object-oriented. It believes that only what it sees, hears, touches, tastes, and smells is true reality. Accordingly, your objective mind is only open to experience without the involvement of any surroundings or thoughts. Your unconscious subjective mind is a center of your creative ability. But unlike your conscious objective mind, it cannot reject what is attempted to be placed in it. Your subjective mind desires to comprehend the world through your self-realization and consciousness. It is open, therefore, to different interpretations of the same objects viewed through different lenses. Your subjective mind is open to dialogues and the amalgamation of various ideas. It creates a generic worldview that may clash with other people's subjective opinions. Your superconscious mind is the mind of Christ within you and is the seat of your intuition and higher instincts. It interacts with both the objective and subjective areas of your mind. Your superconscious mind is your direct connection to the all-originating Spirit of God and downloads messages to your conscious mind that warn you, enlighten you, and otherwise suggest what actions you should take under certain specific situations and circumstances. Throughout human history, there have been ideological clashes between the subjective and objective views of the people of the world. The fact that you possess a highly sophisticated brain gives birth to your subjectivity, but your possession of a body gives rise to your objective worldview. In ancient times, the lack of materialistic pleasures prompted human minds to look for subjective inner realization, understanding of natural surroundings, and examination of the true nature of the human mind. However, the same thoughts with an objective bent allowed humans to reason natural phenomena and identify human progress as enhancing the standard of living. The quest for better standards of living has taken humans to new heights of scientific progress. This has shaped the strictly materialistic thinking of people who have access to tools which they believe were not available in any earlier stage of human history. Now, there have been some historic clashes between religion and science, where religion has provided the subjective view and science has illuminated the objective view of reality. These clashes are also evident in the study of various cultures and their interactions with each other. The East and South has always promoted spiritualism, while the West and North has advanced materialism. Spiritualism translates to subjectivism, and materialism translates to objectivism. However, hardly any of your actions are empty or devoid of either of these, because by nature, your human body completes your human brain and vice versa. Though often clashing, these two views within you complement one another and make for your wholeness of personality. The interaction, struggle, collaboration, and ultimate getting along between your objective and subjective mind shape the nature of your thoughts and actions. In the broader context, science will never achieve its stated goals related to human progress by adhering to its own objective view alone. Nor will religion ever achieve its stated goals related to setting people free if it continues to restrict people from enjoying the material fruits of their work on this earth. People from the East and South who possess spiritual goods travel to the North and West in search of material goods. At the same time, people from the North and West who possess material goods travel to the East and South in search of spiritual goods that go beyond material objectivism. Now, it's believed by many that East and South complete North and West, and science completes religion as the body completes the mind. However, this ignores the truth that completeness is achieved only through recognition of oneness with the all-originating Spirit of God. So your subjective mind can reason only deductively and not inductively, while your objective mind can do both. For example, when you're using deductive reasoning, you make logical arguments based on facts, definitions, and the laws of logic. You operate from a specific if-then logical pattern that says, if something is true, then something else must also be true. For example, if you jump into a pool of water, then you will get wet. The if part of the statement is the hypothesis, while the then part of the statement is the conclusion. Inductive reasoning, on the other hand, begins by observing some members of a class of things in order to form a conclusion about all members of that class. A conclusion derived from inductive reasoning is called a hypothesis and is always less certain than the evidence itself. In other words, the conclusion is merely probable, but not definite, hence the study of probability. Deductive reasoning shows you why a third proposition must necessarily be true if two others are assumed. But deductive reasoning cannot determine whether the other two statements are true. That is where your inductive reasoning comes in. You draw your conclusions from your observations of a series of facts. The relation of the two modes of reasoning is that by first observing a sufficient number of instances, you inductively reach the conclusion that a certain underlying principle has general application. Then you use your deductive process by assuming the truth of the underlying principle. Finally, you determine what result must follow in a particular situation based on the hypothesis of its truth. Your subjective mind uses only the deductive method of reasoning because it is incapable of making the selection and comparison which are necessary for the inductive process. So here is how your subjective mind works. Your subjective mind will accept any suggestion, no matter how false it may be, and will follow strict logic in deducing the proper conclusion from it. The good news is that your subjective mind is under the complete control of your conscious objective mind. This means that your subjective mind will faithfully work out every detail of a suggestion placed in it by your objective mind. The basis for this conclusion is the result of hundreds of scientific hypnosis experiments that have found that your subjective mind is the builder and healer of your body. Under hypnosis, numerous medical patients were able to diagnose the character of the disease from which they suffered and to state exactly how to remedy it. In the hypnotic state, patients exhibited a physiological knowledge that was greater than that of most highly trained physicians. Hypnosis experiments have also uncovered another amazing truth. You ready for this? Okay, here it comes. Your subjective mind is absolutely impersonal. That's right. This impersonal quality of your subjective mind is shown by its ability to assume any personality that the hypnotist chooses to impress upon it. What this means for you is that whatever personality your objective mind impresses upon your subjective mind will perform. Once you grasp that your subjective mind has the power to build your body, it will be easier for you to accept that it also houses your creative power. Armed with this knowledge, you will be more mindful of controlling your objective conscious thought, so that your subjective mind will move you to be, do, and have more, so you can create, give, and love more. When you understand these two principles, that your subjective mind is both the impersonal builder of your body and the center of your creative power, you can change the course and direction of your life from poverty to wealth, from sickness to health, from sadness and depression to joy and contentment. These two principles form the foundation of the axiom that your body represents the aggregate of all your beliefs. If your fixed belief is that the body is subject to outside influences beyond your control, then that belief is impressed on your subjective mind. Your subjective mind will then, in turn, go about bringing into being the reality of the belief you have impressed upon it. If you believe that you are prone to catching diseases, your subjective mind will organize your body to attract and succumb to diseases. On the other hand, if you believe that you are healthy and immune to certain diseases, then your subjective mind will organize your body to repel and resist those diseases. As you think in your objective mind, so your subjective mind will make you become. From a practical standpoint, your negative beliefs about yourself, your health, or your potential in general will manifest negative results on all fronts that tend toward death. However, your positive beliefs about yourself, your health, or your potential in general will manifest positive results that tend toward life, wealth, and happiness. Your subjective mind always conceives of itself according to the suggestions you give it, whether consciously or unconsciously, by your objective mind, which governs it, and it produces the external results prompted by the suggestions you give it. Now, my discussion of your power of choice must begin by asking you two preliminary questions that you must answer within yourself. First, what will you choose to do with the knowledge that I've already shared with you in this series of Video Wednesdays? Second, how will you choose to incorporate it into your life? Your answers to these two fundamental questions will bring you to a choice of whether your journey from here on out will be lived from the standpoint of a passive and subordinate spectator of life. That is, whether you will live your life as a quiescent object or whether you will live from the standpoint of an active and creative participant as a self-liberative subject. The choice you make will be greatly influenced by whether you've already made a decision to trust in the all-originating Spirit of God. Without that basic trust, you will forever elude the peace you will need within yourself to challenge your own self-limiting paradigms. Change the way you think and choose to make your individual personal life really matter. The choice you make is not an easy one, but it is one that will define you and define who you choose to be. Now, I use the word choose here because at every moment of your life, you have the power of choice. You are not limited to being who you think you are right now. You have the power to recreate yourself in the image and likeness of whomever you choose. But without trust in the all-originating Spirit of God, you'll be flying solo without the other half of yourself. So your trust in yourself alone will be insufficient for the life journey ahead of you. Remember that you can never outperform your own self-image of yourself in your unconscious subjective mind. The essence of all things, including yourself, is spirit. If you fail to understand the spirit of a thing, you fail to understand the thing as it is in itself. Let me tell you something else. All there is spirit, because the spirit is life. Only you can truly know you. Other people can guess who you are in yourself, but they're only guessing. They don't know. The only way you can be known is through what you reveal to others about yourself. Your actions do give certain clues about who you are at your core. However, those who watch your actions do not know the context or your backstory from which your actions arise. Consequently, their conclusions about you, which are generally judgments, can only be subjective and inaccurate guesstimates. You are more than your likes and dislikes, your preferences, your style, and your current self-image. Thus, it is urgent that you begin to plumb the depths of yourself. The way to begin is to discover and enter the spirit of yourself, that central core of your being around which all else revolves and is either attracted or repelled. The way to enter into the spirit of yourself is to pay attention to what attracts you physically and mentally. To what types of ideas, thoughts, and activities are you attracted? What physical things and mental ideas cause you to feel really good emotionally? Use these questions to help you begin your journey of self-diagnosis. You cannot share who you are with anyone if you do not know who you are in yourself. Choose to enter into the spirit of yourself by acknowledging that you are spirit and that you have come from spirit. Now, your power of thought finds its fullness in your perfect expression of life, love, and beauty, which is the essence of the all-originating Spirit of God in Himself. To the extent that you express life, love, and beauty in ever-expanding ways, you are reflecting your own essence in yourself by the expression of your thought. The road to your ever-expanding power of thought can only be found in yourself through changing the way you think and embracing a new mode of thought with respect to the principle of life that is within you. In your old way of thinking, you always associated life with your physical body. Life for you has been the supreme physical fact. Now you know that life is more than this. But as the greater includes the lesser, It includes physical life as one mode and only one mode of its manifestation. When you realize the truth about the creative process, you see that the originating life is not physical. Its aliveness is in its thought and feeling. Its inner movement creates external vehicles through which to function, and these become living forms because of the inner life principle which is maintaining them. So the life with which you must become concerned is your life of new-mindedness, your changed way of thinking and feeling within yourself that allows you to see yourself as the vehicle or medium which distributes the very life of the spirit. When you've come to see the spirit as the great forming power, you will seek in it both the fountain of form and of power. As a consequence, you will look to it to give form to your thoughts and feelings. The form taken by your outward conditions, whether of body or circumstance, depends on the form taken by your thoughts and feelings. These take form from where you allow them to receive suggestion. If you allow your thoughts and feelings to accept their fundamental suggestions from the relative and limited rather than from the absolute and limitless, they will assume a corresponding form and transmit them to your external environment. This merely continues the meager results your old thinking habits delivered to you and causes you to be caught in a never-ending cycle of limitation. The only way to extricate yourself from this vicious cycle is to get your thoughts and feelings molded into new forms that continue to advance to greater and greater perfection. This is mind work with which you must struggle consciously on a daily basis. Mastering your mind and its thought will not happen overnight. In order to do this successfully, you must believe that there is a greater forming power than your own unaided conceptions. You will find this forming power when you desire it and realize that the spirit is the supreme life, love, beauty, and wisdom that is molding your thoughts and feelings into harmonious shapes adjusted to the fullest expression in and through you of the aliveness which spirit is in itself. If it is your intention to have your thoughts and feelings molded into forms that express that of the spirit, then establish that relation to the spirit which leads you to conceive new ideals that are made alive by your power of thought, so that you'll be able to bring them into concrete manifestation. This is the path to becoming a center of divine thought, giving it expression in form in the world of space and time. It also solves the problem of enabling the universal to operate on the plane of the particular without your being hampered by those limitations which the generic law of manifestation would impose on you. It is at this point that your subjective mind performs the function of, let me call it a bridge between the finite and the infinite. And this is why your recognition of universal mind's susceptibility to impression is so important. When you establish a personal relation to the life of the spirit, your sphere becomes enlarged. This is so because you allow an intelligence greater than your own to take the initiative. Since you know that this intelligence is also the very principle of life itself, you know that it will never act in any way to diminish your individual life. Knowing then that by its inherent nature, this intelligence can only expand your individual life, you can rest upon it with confidence and trust it to take an initiative that will lead to far greater results for you than you could ever achieve without this divine help. However, if you insist on dictating the particular form which the action of the spirit is to take, you limit it. and so close against yourself avenues of expansion which might otherwise have been open to you. If you limit the Spirit at all, it is because you do not believe in the Spirit as a formative power. The secret to cooperating with the Spirit is to have faith in yourself, because you first had faith in God. The object of your faith must be one, the unity and oneness of yourself and the all-originating Spirit of God. To have faith in yourself, but not in God, is a contradiction of your own nature. To have faith in God, but not in yourself, is a contradiction of God's nature. Without faith, either in yourself or in the Spirit, you short circuit your own creative energy and must fail to accomplish whatever would build you into your highest and best self. Your lack of faith will place you out of position to manifest any potential benefit that would come to you if you were ever to achieve your highest and best self. It is only when you have faith in God and yourself that you discover within yourself the confidence and boldness very different from a boastful egotism, which assumes a personal superiority over others. The true divine self-assuredness comes to you because you know you are working with a law of nature. You do not claim as a personal achievement what the law does for you. On the other hand, you do not concern yourself with the outcries against your presumptuous audacity that is raised by people who are ignorant of the law which you are using. Now, I've given you a lot of stuff over these last 5 videos. So when you're ready to change, contact me. Thank you for watching this video, and please share it with those you love. I am John Elliott Churchville.